just like that. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Oh my goodness. What a weekend, what a weekend, what a weekend it has been. This is the first time in a long time that I've came back and did an in the lab, and it's just been a minute. I know you guys have been missing it. Hey, listen, I've been missing sitting talking to you guys on a Sunday afternoon, and what can be better? What can be better right here towards the end of football season? I don't care if you're talking youth. I don't care if you're talking high school, college. Everybody's that mid towards the end. Next thing up, we're talking playoffs. That's right. Listen, did your team do everything they need to do? Did your coaches lock in? There's some coaches, some teams around here in the low country. They're going back and forth, man. But it is what it is. It's been anybody's season. Whether you're in Skyfa, D1, D2, D3, it doesn't matter. I've seen a lot of great games, saw a lot of great games this weekend. We'll talk about that later after the interview. But speaking of the interview, my goodness, man, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this guy deserves every single blessing that's coming to him simply because I've talked to him on the field, off the field, on the phone, walking to the field, driving to and from games, you name it. This young man has been just taking the low country by storm, if you will. Already established, let's not get it twisted. Already was established, just made a move, and now, hey, things are going his way. Head coach, two-time state champ, huh? 3A. I don't give a dang. Listen, this one thing I get about high school football, and then I don't get about high school football because we try to tell student athletes as they get ready to go on to the next level. You could be a D1. Heck, you could be D2. And if you're good, they will find you. Period. That's exactly what we say. So why do we judge so much about 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A? Listen, if you're playing and you're winning and you're a good coach and you're developing these young men and these cats are coming to your school and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, why should I give a damn about what any of y'all say, whether it's 3A, 4A, 5A, 2A, 1A? I don't care. I don't care. We're developing over here, right? And that's what PhD is for. Y'all know that. Players having development. PhD, players having development. And that's exactly what it's all about. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the two-time champion in the 3A, Mr. 7-game winning streak. Going on right now, they call him the legend, the giant killer even. Ladies and gentlemen, Brent LaPrad. Ah,
What's up, my guy? How you
man,
doing?
what's going on, Brent? Listen, it's been a minute. I know you've been busy across that water. I haven't got a chance. Definitely want to get a chance to come out there and talk to you and see these guys live, man. Because the stats, hey, numbers lie. Men lie, women lie. These numbers ain't lying, man. 7-game winning streak. The first two games, a little rocky. But then took off, man. What was? Let's find out from the jump. I know we're gonna jump a little off script. What was the fire that lit those guys after those first two games?
Yeah, those first two games, we sat down, we had a long talk, and I really just told them that the thing that hurts me the most about those two losses is that everybody doesn't get to see y'all for who you really are. I
Right,
know how good y'all are. I know how y'all practice. I know how y'all live a good life and do what's right, what you're supposed to do in society on an everyday basis. And what upsets me most is that everybody else doesn't know who y'all are. And
right.
kind of since we sat down and had that talk, they played with a little extra fire. And they know this coaching staff trusts them and believes in them. And they've been putting together 4 quarters, solid 4 quarters every Friday night since then. And I've been impressed with them. I think even in our loss
Uh oh.
every day, we had 620 yards offense and lost. But we just ended up playing over 100 snaps on defense that night. We had so many cramps. We just couldn't get 11 people on the field. And it's hard. We don't have the numbers of some of these big 5A schools, so we have guys have to go both ways. It was just one of those nights we couldn't get out of. And then Irmo, I mean, they were a beast to play week one. We lost a 7 point game to them. We had a tough call late, but that's gonna happen. You're gonna get calls that don't go your way.
Oh
It's
yeah.
nothing. The officials aren't trying to make the wrong call. It just happens. That's part of life. But I felt like if we catch a few balls there, we'd had a chance to win that game. We had 12 dropped passes and lost by
Ooh.
7 points to the number one team in the state. And we're a team that throws the ball 50 times a game. It's hard for us to play in a monsoon like it was week one. But that's stuff we can't control. We're not going to make excuses of why we got beat. They beat us fair and square. And it just felt like we put our best foot forward after those first two games. And kids have went on a run. They're on 7 game winning streak right now. They're riding high. And practice, everybody's happy. Everybody's getting after it. We got to back them off each other a little bit at practice. It gets a little too aggressive. But they're doing good, and they're doing great in the classroom. That's what I care about. Haven't had one discipline slip, not one problem out of this team outside of the practice field. And as a coach, that's what I'm happiest about. Is they enjoy being around each other. They're doing a great job at school, doing a great job with the youth team, supporting everybody, showing up on Saturdays and Sundays. And that's what I'm most happy about my guys about. We can't control the wins and losses, but we can control how we carry ourselves as men. And they've done a great job of that.
Yeah. It's so obviously they're buying into it. They're buying into the hard work at practice, the effort during the game. Just like anywhere else, man, your practice should be harder than your game, right? You should make it a lot easier, and just complete the play. Yeah, I mean, just execute the play. Everybody does their job. I think one of the most difficult things is trying to tell this corner or this end rusher that, listen, man, all you have to do is seal. Unfortunately, you're going to push this guy in. Well, fortunately, you're going to push the guy in, and the linebacker has to be the one to make the play. Same in the youth division, man. It's hard. It's hard to be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not the one who's going to make the tackle. But believe it or not, you are still part of the program, and you got a job to do. So, if they're buying into it and everything that's going on, man, that is awesome. You know, when you first got over there, defensive coordinator, you went back to the old school, similar to Fort. Started defensive coordinator and then moved on. Why the change?
You know, um, it's tough with our schedule. Now, we're very fortunate. I get my kids every day at 12 o'clock. So we get done with practice by 4 o'clock, and we've lifted, watched film, and practiced for 2.5 hours. So that part's it helps us a lot, but it's hard to get coaches, that can practice at 12 o'clock every day. So I had trouble getting them, and I knew I had a good guy. I knew I had an ace up my sleeve, and he's a younger coach coming up through the ranks. He actually played for me at Fort Dorchester, went on to Newberry. Then I was lucky enough to coach with him at Fort Dorchester, and kind of talked him into coming over. And I knew he'd do a hell of a job running the defense, like he has
Yeah.
done. And that's Rashad Smith. I mean, he deserves a lot of this 7 game winning streak is because of Rashad Smith. He does a great job for us every Friday night. He works too hard. I have to tell him, quit watching film, go to sleep, go see your wife, go see your kid, like go be a dad. Like it's gonna be okay. Quit watching film. I know how much I can track him on Huddle, so I know how he watches film relentlessly. And Nathan Joyner's another one. He works his butt off for us too. And without them two, we wouldn't be on this 7 game running streak. And I'm very lucky. I've got a unbelievable coaching staff. I mean, my receiver, I have two great receiver coaches. I have Sims Bennett, who played at Wingate, played at Oceanside. He's an unbelievable one. I got Joe Sabatini, who was at UNC from 2018 to 22, coaching receivers. He's a stud. My tight end coach is Sam Hartman's dad. His son
Yeah.
was played is a third string quarterback right now with the Commanders. Played at Notre Dame. Played at Wake Forest. My O line coach John Patterson was a head coach in college at Elon. Has been all over the place. Been this coach at Citadel. Coached 4 or 5 different colleges. I got a great running back coach, John Drummond. He's from up in Canada and plays some Canadian football, so he brings a little twist to it that we love. I got another guy, Finn Johnson, that actually played for us at Oceanside. He went out to college in North Greenville. He had a bad injury and can't play anymore, and he's another one loves the coach. The defensive side of the ball, like I said, I got Rashad Smith. He's a stud in the secondary. I also got Nate helping out with the linebackers. He does a great job for us. My D line coach, Brian Coleman, played at Syracuse with McNabb. He's our secret weapon. Our kids are stronger and faster every single day. He brings that juice and that energy.
Oh, hold on, folks. There he goes. There he goes. They call him. Hey, y'all, hold on a minute, man. He's on
They calling.
PhD. Stop calling
He's
him.
trying to stop us. They
Don't
don't
you
want us
can't.
working together.
You can't stop the ocean, baby. You can't stop the sharks. You can't stop the shark. Well, it
That's
sounds like
right.
you have, man. I don't know if you personally built this or if it was a little of both. Was this already pre-done, or is this something that you've implemented with the coaching staff since you've been there?
Yeah, we had most of them. The only two I brought were Rashad Smith and Nate and Joe Sabatini, my receiver coach. I brought those three on, and the
Okay.
rest of those guys were already there. There's a
Okay.
reason back-to-back state champs. Our kids do a great job, but our coaches do a good job of putting them in position to make plays, and they grind it out every day and make sure we getting better. We just want to stack good days at practice. We do that all year. We'll have a
Yeah.
chance in November and hopefully December 5th.
Right. So when you originally came over, how was that transition? You're coming in, you're the new guy on the block. Of course, your name already speaks volumes. If it doesn't, it should. Whether on defense or on offense, I wouldn't care if you put you on the booth or put you on the sidelines. I have personally watched you for an entire season and been right next to you the entire time. What was that like when you first came over there?
Yeah, when I first came over, the kids took me in well.
Yeah.
They trusted me right off the bat. After a couple of meetings, they understood that I knew what I was talking about, and we really hit things running. They had things going. I felt like I was just the missing piece over there. The offense had done great. Everything had done great. They just needed a D coordinator that could get everything going in the right direction, get everybody on the same page. I feel like if I'd have got there a year earlier, we'd be three-time state champs. I really think so, and that was
Ooh.
missing piece they had. But they took me right under their wing and we gelled good. And I mean, that first year, that run, I mean, we had 7 of the starting 22 guys were out for the year. All 14 captains didn't play in the state championship, were injured. All four of them were out, and we could take a freshman quarterback to come in there and throw the ball. I think he threw the ball 60 times in that first state championship, and to go on and win that thing with a team that's just dismantled. I mean, I think we had 29 kids left that were varsity football players. We had nobody that could bench press 225 pounds playing. Nobody ran under a 4.740, but they were a team, man. They played together and they grit it out and they just hang around and find a way to get you in the end. And ever since that team kind of changed the culture of the program. And now we kind of got some big dogs coming in with this one-time transfer rule, man. It opened some windows for us, and we got some weapons. And now we got that old school, them kids that worked their butt off. And now we got some weapons that kind of came in and worked their tail off too. And we got a good mix and a good thing going right now. And I'm a lucky coach. They make me look good for sure.
There you go. Well, since we're talking about the transfer portal, um, you got to be. I mean, obviously, it sounds like you're slightly a fan of it. 1 year, one time to move, one time only. Did it help Oceanside with the transfer
Yeah,
portal? They don't know who you got, but did you?
yeah.
You got a couple. Did it help?
Oh man, we would not be on a 7 game win streak without the transfer portal. And I'll be the first to say I hate it.
Yeah.
I Nobody benefited from it in the Low Country more than me, and I hate it. I hate every bit of it. I just I just think that these kids should stay where they are and kind of play together. It's I don't like change. It's not how it
Right.
was when I grew up. But back in the day when I played at Somerville, I mean, we had 5 or 6 guys that started on each side of the ball that were somebody else's best player. It really
Right.
was. It's just hard to compete. If you get one school does it in the state, if anybody else doesn't do it, you're not going to beat them. So it happens everywhere. There's a lot of people that benefit from it, and there's a lot of people that it destroys their programs. It really does. And I
Right.
understand why the coaches that hate it, and the guys that like it are getting better. And I remember when I first started coaching, we were losing players. Coach Chuck Reedy was getting them. Coach McKissick was getting them. Coach Stackley was getting them. And I never kind of took offense to them. I always looked at it as, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to change so these kids don't leave? And I think having that attitude kind of flipped it, and I've kind of found a way to, what do I need to do to get these kids to want to be coached by me? And ever since I've looked at it like that, it's really benefited me a lot.
Yeah.
I grow close to these kids. I got good relationships with our kids, and I think that's one thing that helps us win a bunch of football games. But I mean, we got 6 or 7 studs, in the transfer portal this year. That's without a doubt. I
Right.
mean,
I mean,
we wouldn't be knocking off Dutch Fork without him. I can promise you that.
right, right. I mean, I definitely agree with you on the last few sentences that you said, especially when it comes to as a coach, what are you doing that makes the young student athlete want to leave? What are you, what are you doing wrong? Right? What are we doing right? Like you said, exactly. It hurt a lot of teams. Some teams they thought it was going to help a lot better, and it actually didn't. They're still in the same position that they were, the last year or
Oh
something
yeah.
like that. But they didn't change it internally. Um, so with some, when they say it hurt them, I'm kind of agreeing with you. You have to look inside. Coaching staff, head coach, ADs, sit down and have the conversation. What can you do? What can we do better? What can we do different? Why did these kids leave? Have that little exit interview or whatever you want to do and find out, well, was it because of this coach or that coach and what did they do wrong? I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of conversations where half it'll just be in one ear and out the other, especially if you're talking about minor complaints. You're talking about kids and adults. You're going to have those type of situations. But if it's an overall thing that the kids and a bunch of kids and a bunch of parents are complaining about the style and how this is being ran and how that's being ran, you might want to look at it. You might want to look at it internally. Um, let's talk about the student athletes themselves. Young guys, older guys. What is Oceanside? What are the Sharks looking like next year? So we can talk about this year. We think that we know you're going to the playoffs, hopefully going to the championship. But you have to see a little bit past that. I understand you're in the season right now. You can go day by day, but the future wise, what are you looking like right now?
Yeah, we had senior night last Friday night. We had 18 seniors in that group. We got a bunch of seniors up front on both sides of the ball, our O line and D line. We're lucky our quarterback and running back are both juniors. They're both coming back. We got three stud receivers that are coming back. Two of our five linemen up front are coming back, and we got a third guy that rotates in. So we're only really got to replace three guys, a receiver and two linemen on offense. But on defense, we're heavy. We have two linebackers that are seniors. All three of our four D linemen are seniors, and three of our guys in the back in the secondary are seniors. But we have another one that rotates in, so we'll be replacing probably five or six guys on defense.
Yeah,
But our JVs had a great year. We got guys that are fighting to get on the field now that would start at other schools that are not starting for us. But we kind of feel like the more weapons we have, the better. So we don't put a lot on the starting position. We want to know who's in there playing when it's the fourth quarter. That's what it's
right,
about for us. We try to we'd rather, me and Coach Rashad feel like we'd rather have 22 weapons on each side of the ball than 11. So we
right.
push our guys that aren't starters to be a starter. And everybody's job is up every single day. If you take a week off, somebody's going to get your job. And it helps us a lot. That's why we practice so hard. That's why we get better during the week, is because everybody knows that I'll bench them. You have one bad day, you don't show up, and we'll put you on the bench if somebody's working their butt off and can fit in your spot. And I think the kids like it. It makes it competitive. It makes practice fun, and we don't get bored. We know who's playing receiver. It doesn't matter that he doesn't come to practice or doesn't work hard. It's not like that at Oceanside, and it's been very good. It's been a successful model for us so far.
There you go. Well, listen, that leads on to the next one. What are the expectations? And yeah, there you guys have it right there. That's the expectations. Show up to practice, do your job, do what you're supposed to do, right? Because it could be anybody's job is wide open. Anybody's job is wide open. You start having bad moments and start getting that bad feel. Coaches don't know if you're going down that rabbit hole or not, right? Especially if you're not speaking up, you're not talking to your coaches. If you don't feel you can talk to your coaches, at least talk to your parents and have your parents talk to your coaches. It can't be a bunch of excuses. Nobody wants to hear, one or two sad stories like Max. I get it, but at the end of the day, he's got 50 other kids to think about, right? I
Yeah,
get it. Your student athlete wants to be there and do that, but parents don't think that this is a escape route. And if I call Coach LaPrad, if I call Coach Clint, it's gonna be okay. No. I'm just want to be an ear. Okay, first, it's for the community by the community. So I will be an ear if your child has something seriously going on that he really can't talk about. Then good. I want to be that ear for that player. But we still have other 49, 50 other players to work with, conduct, and still have a season to run. I'll take a few moments out to talk to your child, but come on, man, show up to practice, do what you got to do. If you're not injured and you're just hurt, show up to practice. You guys don't know the
Yeah.
difference in between the two? Go look it up. All right. Coach Randy Washington, what's going on, man? I see a lot of Ashley Ridge. I see some Ashley Ridge, some Swamp Foxes in the building. I get it. I get it. I get
And
it.
they had
Y'all,
a
hey,
big
listen.
win Friday night.
Hey,
Great win,
listen.
Bridge Friday night. Tell you.
Hey, they said Fee Grant. You know Fee Grant. You know how Fee goes. Fee says LaPrad was rocky with us. I don't know. I don't know. You can't blame that on the coaches. Coaches put in the plan. The kids have to be the ones to get out there and execute. If they don't execute it, I mean, of course you're going to blame the coach. Hell, y'all blame me, and I don't even run the clock. You know, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Next thing coming down, Coach. What do you think is your biggest attribute?
I think my biggest attribute is
What's up,
I'm a
big dog? Boy,
yeah.
you
We got
get big, man.
assistant head coach, Coach S.J. LaPrad, is in the house.
Yes, sir. The real deal. What's going on, man?
Yeah, that's the third generation of LaPrad coaches right there. He set it up.
Ooh, next man up. That's exactly what it is, man. I hope you're
Yeah.
learning a lot, big dog. You got some shoes to fill. Huh?
Oh yeah, he's ready. He's ready.
If you
He's ready to
already got
get
the
some.
football in his hand, for those who ain't paying
Oh,
attention, he's ready.
always,
He's ready.
always.
I love it. I
That's
love
all he
it.
does all day. We play football all day long around here. Yep,
And he got the
shoes and
cleats on too.
cleats
Oh, I'm
all
sorry. I won't keep him long. He got a couple more passes in him tonight on this
day. Oh
Sunday
yeah.
night. But coach, what do you think is your biggest attribute?
It's really how close I am with the players and how much I care about them. I really could care less how many games I win. I want to raise great husbands and great fathers and great young men. I care about the kids. I feel like if I do that and make sure they're working hard, the wins will take care of themselves. But I think my biggest attribute is just how much I care about the kids. Sometimes it's my biggest downfall. I care too much about the kids. But
Yeah.
I just love. That's why I coach high school football. I think that's where you have the biggest change on their life at that age group. So that's why I coach high school ball, and that's why I enjoy helping out young teenagers and going them in to be young men. And I tell you, we had our senior night Friday night.
Uh oh, they still calling.
I felt
They
like I had
still.
the toughest job. Yep, somebody was calling me. So I feel like I have the toughest job in the state because I have to raise. There's people I can't live without. I have to teach them to live without me, and
Yeah.
that's the toughest part about coaching is saying goodbye to them seniors every year. But
Oh man.
I think that's my biggest attribute is how much I care about the kids for sure.
Yeah. I love it, man. That's not. It's it hurts to a fault sometimes, right? Especially in today's society, Brent. Let's be 100% transparent, man. The majority of the kids we want to see take the correct route. I don't care if college ain't you. I get it. Go be something positive in today's society. Go do something legit. Go get a job. Go here. You guys be surprised who some of these people know. I'm just gonna put it out there. You don't know some of your coaches know where they came from, or what they did, or who they're. Might have a friend on the side when it comes to South Carolina, especially the Low Country. It's not all about what you know, but it's who you know. So be transparent. If college ain't for you, you want to get into something else, talk to your coaches, man. You'd be real surprised. Talk with your parents, of course. Also, if that's the decision that you decide to make, right, without your coaches being involved, because at the end of the day, that's your decision. Find a way to become a productive member of society, but that doesn't always happen, right? And we've had a lot of kids. Back when we were doing River Oaks middle
Oh,
school ball, the young man who turned around and got in some trouble. He was one of them dogs, man. You know what
never
I'm talking about
forget.
too. I'm
Never
not even
forget.
going to say his name, but you know what I'm
Oh,
talking about. The young man
I
who
know.
played for me.
He's the best
Yes.
football player I've ever seen at that age. I know exactly what you're talking
Listen. I'm gonna tell you all a quick story. All right, first I used to coach at River Oaks, which was the feeder program to Fort Dorchester. Okay, so when middle school ball was really in this nice little hype, right before Skype and everything started up, I was over there at River Oaks, and I'd go to practice, and then they moved the practice from River Oaks middle school over to Fort Dorchester. So we started using that far back field. And then we'd show up. and varsity would come out, and varsity start practicing. They'd get their space. We'd have to, move down a little bit. But over comes Brent LaPrad and just standing there while his guys are doing drills. He's standing there and he's watching this one young man from River Oaks. And he's watching me, he's watching Dale, he's watching the other coaches, and we're going through these drills. And this young man was a man playing amongst boys. Ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not. We've seen a lot of tough football players come through from from the little league all the way up to high school. But I guarantee you, had this young man, God bless him, man, had stayed on the right path, the school, the school thing, that can be worked on, right? They already had a plan for that. To be honest with you, they already had a plan for that. They were gonna have this young man tutored up the whole nine. He was gonna get the help. All he had to do was come out of that River Oaks program, take off for that, take off for the rest of the year, do his thing, but it went left. And I'm talking about Brent LaPrad was talking about this young man for about 2 weeks straight after he seen him practice, saw a game, and invited his father over to come sit down and talk to the young man, just trying to kick game and get inside of his head. And this kid he was bought in. He was bought in because you're talking about Brent LaPrad, Steve LaPrad, both come over and talk to you individually and pull you off to the side to have a conversation with you, and from time to time talk with the team. Man, you was living the high life. But this young man unfortunately took the wrong turn, man. And that was one of those kids that, like you say, Brent, I feel the same way. I care a lot about these kids almost to a fault because when that happened to that young man, he didn't pass away, first of all, but he did something heinous, allegedly. And I think that just probably broke my heart more than anything. More than him missing practice, more than him going half-assed during a drill or something like that. I would have almost taken that before I let that young man be a fallen soldier to the streets.
Yeah, yeah, that one hurt for sure. I tell you, you can get more trouble in 5 seconds that you can get out of the next 20 years of your life. And he was just a young kid, and he was just so promising of athlete. He'd have been playing on Sundays in my mind. That's my opinion, but
Oh, easy, easy. Coach
easy.
Jimmy Smith says a lot of coaches lose sight of that. They just want to win games. You might be absolutely right, Jimmy. You might be absolutely right. But as the parents, like we said, just a little, like Brent said, just Coach LaPrade said a little bit earlier, what are you doing to make these kids want to come to play for you? What are you doing right? What do you need to show more of? Right? What are you doing wrong? Where are you kind of going, leading astray? Bringing in the new guys, making them feel welcome, making them feel part of the team, making them feel at home. Right? Everybody gets their reps, but everybody knows the hardest decision that coaches have to make is I got to get the best 11 guys on the field, offense and defense. 22, excuse me, best 22 guys to start on offense, start on defense. But if I have depth, don't be afraid of the depth. Don't be afraid to be a number two. Don't be afraid to even be a number three. You mess around, something will happen. I guarantee you. And you'll get in there. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just now tuning in, we're talking to the Oceanside Collegiate Academy head coach, none other the Sharks, none other than Brent LaPrad, longtime friend, longtime coach, been on the sidelines in the booth, on the road with him, won the full season, got to know him, knew him before that, right? We're talking about River Oaks days, going down there, coach. He was more than happy to come down there, introduce himself. Hey, if we needed anything between me and Dell, it was right there and it was done. Um, with seven, the Dutch Fork win 24-20. I can guarantee you that the bus ride home, that bus was rocking the entire way
Oh
back.
yeah, that was a wild one.
3A team comes in, beats the 5A giant. What's the bus ride home, and what's the next day? What's the plan for the next day? The bus ride home first, and the next day we gotta take us through those moments.
Yeah, it was wild. You know, the year before they beat us 51-0, and we had 51 yards of total offense. They had a point for every yard we had, and we kind of felt let down leaving that night. So that was circled on our schedule all summer. It really was. That was
Yeah,
kind of what we were working for. And we have these crazy first 5 games a year. We kind of treat it like the playoffs, and that was the fifth one. So that was kind of the state championship game for us. So we wanted to go out there and lay it on the line, and those kids did to come up with a win against them because we were beat to pieces. I
Yeah.
know they had some guys beat up too, but we were beat to pieces as a little 3A team playing them. But to come out with a win, I tell you that bus ride home, it was a wild one. I remember Scotty Eisenberg, him and my son SJ, we're on FaceTime on the bus, and man, you couldn't hear nothing. The bus is going crazy. We got back to the school. All the fans and the parents met us back at the school. It was wild.
What?
Oh, it was a wild one. Everybody was happy, and that next day was a wild one. I got a lot of phone calls. I think I had over 200 text messages that night. A lot of good people that I haven't talked to in a while. So it was good to hear everybody reach out. Just glad to see me winning a big time football game and happy for the program over at Oceanside. It was a lot of fun that Friday, Saturday for sure.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that has been that was all over, officially a legend, right? Was the picture that we had used earlier. And I get it, right? For those who may or may not know, though, Brent, how long have you been coaching?
This is year number 20 for me. This is my 20th
so,
year.
so I get it what some of y'all saying, right? He's been around as long as I have been doing it. Well, like as long as I've been doing Little League, because I got about 10 or 12 in doing it with Little League. Started at Tom Conley a long time ago.
Oh,
But I
yeah.
get it. Some of you folks, officially a legend. I think everybody's a legend in their own way, right? I'm not sure. I know Brent. I know Coach Steve LaPrad. Um, they don't, they're not looking for all that glory, man. They're just looking to develop kids and have kids go in the right direction. So, I mean, take it for what it's worth. We talked about the transfer portal. You guys missed out on that conversation. Go on back. Some aren't a fan, some are a fan. Heard a lot of programs, but those programs have to now look back at themselves in the mirror and say, what was I doing? What were we doing wrong? Why did these kids leave? What was it? Was it type of run style, type of style we were playing? Um, Speaking of playing style, Brent, you got next year, you're going to have a bunch of seniors leaving out, a bunch of new guys coming, not really new guys. You got juniors, sophomores coming up that are ready to step up and take the helm. Um, does the style change? You have one form that you like to run when it comes to offense. Does that change, or you have to make those pieces fit in that puzzle?
No, that doesn't change. As long as we got Dirty throwing that ball, we go sling it as much as we. He's coming back for his senior year next year. Hopefully, he'll be a 3-time state champ. He's won his freshman and sophomore year. We're trying to make it 3 this year. But as long as we got that redhead back there slinging that ball, we go throw it 50, 60 times a game. He's a cheat code of a player. He's like
Yeah.
having an extra coach on the field. I mean, he goes the line of scrimmage, and we've got 2 plays called. He can check out the 10 other plays, and really, it's him just seeing the field and running the game like a coach. And he's special. I won't get another one like him. I understand that. I'm lucky enough to have 2. I had Zoltan and Aiden, and you don't get guys like that. You're lucky to get one of those every 20 years. And I know he's special, and he makes me look like a good ball coach. I probably wouldn't be the offensive coordinator if I didn't have him. He
Yeah.
definitely had a lot to do with that decision of me going over to the other side.
Listen, it's a lot with some of these kids who actually get it and get that football IQ. When you have that football IQ, I tell a lot of kids the game will slow down for you, and they don't understand that concept. When I say it slows down for you, you'll understand it so much that you'll know everybody's all the positions and everything. And that's always what fascinates me about you and your offensive coordinator style is you came from defense. So you can look at a defense, find the weak points, and push the ball and at least give me 5, 6 every play. And we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Um, you did it at Fort Dorchester, defensive coordinator, then offensive coordinator. Then you did it again at Oceanside, came in defensive coordinator,
Yeah.
offensive coordinator, head coach. I mean, it's got to be some sauce behind that, man.
Yeah, I've been lucky to work with a lot of good coaches, and I was coached by great coaches. I mean, growing up, Coach McKissick, winning his coach in all the football, was my coach all through high school. My dad was even my junior varsity coach in my younger years. I went on to play at NC State, and I had a head coach, Chuck Amato. He was a great one. He kind of took me under his wing. I loved his style, defensive style, 4-3 football. I learned a lot from him. And then once I got out, I was lucky a guy named Freddie Hamilton took me under his wing my first couple years of coaching and taught me the odd front. And I don't invent any plays. Everything's stuff I've learned from people that they deserve all their credit for. And I think having an open mind and always willing to learn. Like anybody I meet, I don't care if it's a rec coach. I want there's something he could teach me that I can learn that I don't see that he sees. So everybody I meet, I want to learn what they do, what are they best at that they do, and how can I mimic it and use it. And I feel like just doing that for 20 years has made me a well-rounded coach. I know what I like to do on defense. I know what I don't like to see on defense, and I call that out a lot on offense. And I think that, and then I let my assistant coaches coach. There were series last couple of Fridays that I quit calling plays. I handed it to my receiver coach. I said, "Here, you call." I want him to grow and become an offensive coordinator and become a head coach. So, what's better time than throw him into the fire on a Friday night? So I let them call plays, and I think that's one thing that's made me well-rounded. Was I never thought I was too big for my britches. I thought I was a good coach. I always want to learn. There's always somebody out there better than you that you can learn something from. It's always been
Right.
my style.
So, and with that being said, the coach, I know you guys have a lot of meetings. Um, yeah, the micromanaging. Sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it's warranted. You might see something that they don't see, and if they catch it and they're okay with it. But how are those meetings? How do those meetings go?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time meeting. We really do. Me and Rashad are lucky. We don't have to teach during the day. So from 7:30 to 12 o'clock every day, me and him are meeting doing football. And he has a great football mind. So I let him go. I don't look over his shoulder or anything. There'll be some situational stuff in the game where I'm like, hey, it's 3rd and 7, but he's got 2 plays here. He's not punting. He's not going for field goals. I just remind him of some situational stuff. But it's really easy. He's a guy that I coached and a guy that coached with me. So me and him think the same. We call things the same way. Our minds work the same. So it's an easy transition with him. And then offensively, I lean on my O line guy to help me in the run game. I lean on my receivers coach to help me in the pass game. And we just find a way to work together and put it all together, put our egos to the side, and find a way to help these kids out and what's best for this football program.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Now, another question to get a little bit tougher now. Is Oceanside Collegiate Academy, the Sharks, do you want to stay in 3A or do you think, what is it going to take for you guys to go up? And do you want to go up?
Yeah, I tell you, we're in a good spot right now. It's a weird situation because I think we have 590 students in our school right now, so we don't have the numbers. We have numbers of a 2A school, but
Right.
we need to play in the 3A and the 4A ranks just because of how our program is. Like I think it is unfair to some of these 3A schools we play. I think it is unfair to some of these 2A schools. We played Battery Creek last Friday night, and I think it was 42-0 at halftime. But I told their coach, like, you had a great game plan. You outcoached us. Like, I know the
Right.
scoreboard didn't show it, but you outcoached us. You did great. And it is unfair some Friday nights because of the weapons we have. It's not fair, and the situation we have. So I don't have an answer for it. Like this year, I'd love to play 5A ball. I don't think we'd win it. I think we'd have like a 10% chance. We'd have to play great to win it at 5A. But me and my quarterback Aiden were talking about it this morning. I was like, man, I wish they'd drop us in 5A this year. I know we wouldn't have won it last year in 4A or 5A, but I like the challenge of it. I wish they would move us up. I think in the future, if they can get more charter schools, I think they need to have their own classification. I think that's the only way to make it fair. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I think really makes it fair is for everybody that's a charter school to have their own classification where they compete against each other. Because there is a lot of Fridays night. It's not fair. But you know what? There's a lot of Fridays nights that Dutch Fork plays people, and it's not fair for the 20 kids they've recruited either. But that's just kind of how it goes. If you ask Stahl, it ain't fair when Stahl plays Somerville. They're loaded. Like that's
Yeah.
just how the world works. But I think every kid should get a fair shot, and they do need to do something. I wish I had a great answer for them, but I really don't. I think in the future they need to move toward their division for charter schools. And, I like if you win state championship, bump you up a rank. If you win 3A, you should go to 4A the next year. I wish they would do something
Especially,
like that.
exactly, especially if you 2 times in a row. two
Yeah.
times in a row. And I think that I don't know, and I understand the demographics of it and how many student athletes or students, excuse me, that you have inside your school and what makes you this and what makes you that. But at the same time, some people find it, like you say, unfair. A 3A team that plays 4A, 5A football. Well, what happens, ladies and gentlemen, to me, my thoughts on it is if you turn around and you move them up, let's say you just go up one, you go up to 4A, and they still handle business, right? Similar to what we do here in the youth division when you're talking about D1 and D2, right? What happens to a team if they went out on year number one? 9 times out of 10, next year they go in D1, right? If they have two great seasons back to back, to where they're in the playoffs and the competitive, or even one is in the championship, the rest of them in the playoffs, it's most likely that you're going D1 next year. You know what I mean? You can look forward to that. You can look forward to the commissioner calling you up and telling you, congratulations, y'all just now went D1. Why isn't it the same thing for high school football? You know, and don't get me wrong, Oceanside is Oceanside. It's not the biggest school, right? Definitely one of the toughest when it comes to football. Other sports, they're very competitive also, but it just is what it is. Should they not go up and get their tools sharpened in the 4A and or 5A? I say you move them up one, you go 4A, play some 5A schools, a lot more 4As, maybe one 3A that's pretty decent, but you know, move them up. That's the only way they're going to get better. You keep them right there in that one spot, they're just gonna keep dominating. Then after a while, people are gonna complain. You know, you got social media moles that come in and oh well, there's a 3A school. And like I said before, I don't give a fat baby behind what you are. One, two, three, four, five, six. It don't matter if you're winning, you're winning, right? It doesn't. To me, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. What's up, Nate? There you go. Speaking of Nate, there he goes right there, Nathan Joyner.
Oh,
What's
God.
up, man? What's up, nephew? You already know, man. Listen, I got him. I got him. Got him on the show, man. And definitely proud to have him right here, man. We getting it in, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just now joining us, we're talking to the one and only, the giant killer of the low country, none other than Brent LaPrad, head coach, Oceanside Collegiate Academy, the Sharks. He's been doing his thing 2 time, not one, 2 time state championship, trying to go back for a third. The three-peat, the trifecta, it's like uno, dos, tre. Way back from the three. He's going for it. He's got a group of kids right now that is buying in. Transfer portal, it's just it is what it is. You know what I mean? They want to go. Some of these kids want to go play for Oceanside. They want to go play for Brent, Nate, and others that have been out there. Some of these guys are former players. I remember some of these cats, man. Some of these guys are former players of Fort Dorchester, where Brent came from, that just stuck with him just because of morals and the type of person he is. So, of course, when he moved to Oceanside, everybody kind of looked at it a little strange. I think for the most part, Brent, everybody had a thought that you were going to be the guy to take over Fort Dorchester.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, I would have liked it. That's a great program. We spent a lot of time there, but just the way my dad left, some things that were done there, all of us, me, my brother, my sister, and my dad walked away. Like there was just some things that were done that I don't want to get into, but just
Right,
if those people are there, we will not be there ever. There's
right.
a certain line you don't cross, and those lines were crossed. And you put 17 years of your life into a place and build a program, and it's tough to walk away. I mean, I want them to win every football game. We don't play them. If we played them, that's the only time I wouldn't want them to win. But it's tough to watch the downfall a little bit over there. I feel bad for their head coach. He's put in a tough spot. Nobody wants to follow a legend of a coach at anywhere. You can ask the guy at Alabama. It's not easy. You have expectations that are unrealistic. There's always going to be a downfall of kids, and I think they're in that a little bit now. But also think they have the best youth group of anybody in the state.
Oh
What
yeah,
they got coming up is scary good, really, really good. So hopefully
yeah,
they'll hang in there with Coach Lorenzo a little bit. I think he's a great guy, great human being. He's treated me unbelievable. I actually be out there Friday night. This coming up Friday. We have the 10-year reunion from the 2015 state championship team, and it's our off week. So I'm going to watch them play this Friday night, and I support them guys. I got a lot of friends that still coach there. A lot of kids I coach are still there in that senior and junior class, and I hope them guys get it figured out and turned around because I want them to be successful. I want them to keep it rolling how it was when my dad was there, and hopefully they can get back to getting on track with that stuff.
Yeah. How does tradition play in your now at Oceanside? How does tradition, certain things you guys used to do at Fort Dorchester, did you kind of take over that same thing over there? I know you probably don't do the bus. I don't know if you do the bus ride in or things like that. But how is tradition? What does tradition mean to you?
Yeah, I think tradition is a big part of high school football. That's why your Berkeleys are always good, your Stratfords, your Somervilles, those teams that have been successful for these long hauls of years. And that's where we're trying to get started at Oceanside. This year is our 10th year of Oceanside football, and we're trying to get that tradition started. We have some things we do that we mimic from our days of Fort Dorchester, the way we warm up, the schedule we use Monday through Thursday is the same. Our pregame script before the game's the same. So there's a lot of stuff we like to mimic that I learned from my dad and the coaches I got from Fort. They're used to it, so I like to do that. But trying to create our own little tradition at Oceanside and do things a little bit different than most of the regular teams would. But I tell you, I do wish we could do that bus ride. I love the old bus ride down to the field at Fort. That didn't get you fired up to play. You weren't a human being, I tell you. Those
No,
were those
you
were great rides. I miss those with you.
listen. Coming down that tunnel, the anticipation. Um, for those of you who don't know, I used to. So I was the sideline reporter during the COVID years, and that year, Coach LaPrad, both Coach LaPrads, entrusted myself and a couple other gentlemen to turn around and follow them through the journey of football season, through high school football, through Fort Dorchester. And that was probably the most fun I've had doing this right here, was just showing up, uh, meeting up with the team, take your vehicle, follow. And let me tell you, this is how far tradition goes back. This is how you knew you're doing something right here in the low country. Throughout that whole entire season, ladies and gentlemen, I never remember stopping at a red light, a stop sign. I don't give a dang what was going on. We were treated like royalty, huh?
Oh yeah,
Me and Richie driving in the car. I'm like, hey, do I follow him? Keep going. I'm like,
keep
where are they
going.
going? He's like, keep going. This thing don't stop. And I said, well, Lord, we made it to Mount Pleasant in 20-25 minutes. Y'all can't do that around here. Y'all can't do
No,
that around here. We had police escorts the whole nine, and we were gone all the way through, man. That was some good old glory days. But now the new days, Oceanside champions, a little bit of pressure, because now you got to start looking to the future, 2-3 years down the line. Uh, how about the parents? Let's talk about the parents real quick. We ain't get on too hard. How are the parents buying into the program?
oh man, I got the best parents of anywhere in the country. I tell you, I've been there 3 years. I've never washed a jersey, a pair of pants. I've never cooked a pregame meal. I've never had to schedule the buses. All I do is coach football. Our booster club works with our parents, and all they want us to do is how can they help to give the coaches more time to do football. And the parents are what I fell in love with the place more than anything.
Yeah,
They always are looking to help us, always, coach, what can we do? I don't get parents don't call me and complain about playing time. They thank me for how much time I spend with their kid. And that's been the joy for me is the how well the parents have treated me. Throughout the job search, some people didn't want me within the school, but those parents kind of stood by me like, this is our guy, this is who we want to coach our kid because of how he treats them. And if it wasn't for the parents, I wouldn't have been the head coach. I can tell you that. And I appreciate that. It's they know my true colors and how much I mean to these kids, how much these kids mean to me. And I love my parents, man. I got a good group. I really do.
wow. Listen, very I wouldn't say it's rare. So you always got people that are fans of the game till they're not. Right? So you got, like you said, with the playing time and hey, you were good. When we played this certain team, your child got a lot of playing time. Played another team that's probably a little bit tougher. Your child didn't see as much playing time. Now all of a sudden I'm a piss poor coach all over social media, and I'm this and that. I mean, um, those parts I think kind of rub me the wrong way. But if your parents are buying into everything that you're doing, I think that's a phenomenal feature. Um, and there's nothing like it when you have a village, literally have a village
Yeah.
behind you that has your back on stuff you're doing. If they see you going the wrong way, they kind of nudge you back over. Hey, coach, all right now, look,
Oh,
what are we doing? Let's get back over here and get okay. Appreciate that, and you going back to handling your business and doing what you're doing. But to buy in on the youth level or the high school level or on the middle school level, you heard what he just said, right? Talk about the booster club. Get more involved. You want to know what's going on? You want to know what's happening? You got join in some of these clubs. Just don't hear it from the outside in, right? You got to go in, and then you know for a fact you get all your answers right there. Okay, there's nothing else you can do. Nothing else you can do about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you're just now joining us, you have missed one of it's got to be my top two favorite coaches here in the area. I always used to tease Brent a long time ago, saying he was looking inside my playbook. Of
oh
course, I
yeah.
was the offensive coordinator back then, so I used to tease him all the time. Um, I just got stories, like I tell you guys in the youth programs. Your stories will come during practice. You're not going to remember half of the games that you played. If you won state championships, you'll remember that. Okay? If you went on to high school to win state championships, you'll remember a couple of those games. But 99% of the memories that you are now making and creating, and some of you guys in high school, it's the same for you too, happens at practice, right? Because practice is that
Absolutely.
sacred thing. Practice that thing that's just you. There's nobody else watching. You, the coaches, the laugh, the trips, the whatever, the jokes, the pranks, sometimes that type of little bit of stuff. One of my most memorable, and I have it around here somewhere, and I gotta find it. But when I was at River Oaks, they gave me this ball. It came from Fort Dorchester, their varsity ball, and they kept saying, "Use this ball, use this ball, use this ball." We pumped the ball up full of air, and not 2 minutes later, by the time I walked from where pump it up back to where it is, the ball would go flat. I said, "Well, God, no, why do they keep giving me this shitty ass ball? Why?" And I'd go over to Dale. I mean, I'm talking about your dad, the other coaches out there. Hey, grab that ball right there. The ball's just sitting over there, lonely as hell. Ball sitting over there. I'd go grab the ball. Hey, we ain't got a ball. I need a ball. Grab the ball. Ball goes flat by the time I get over there. Running around trying to find out where I can pump it up. You know, a lot of people would have gotten frustrated and said, "Hey, you're treating us like this. You're treating like that." I did that one practice, and I said to myself, I don't know if it's something like they're not trying to be funny. They have X amount of balls that they're using, and they were using them at the time. But why the hell would they keep giving me this ball that nobody wanted? The ball ended up working a couple of times, just enough for us to get through a practice. But when that ball went flat the last time, I said, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. And I
That
still,
old
y'all
boy.
laugh, I still have that damn football, and it's sitting around here somewhere. I still got that
That's
football to this
great.
day. Because on top of it had Fort Dorchester. I forgot which who was you? I don't think it was the punting team or kicking team, special teams or something like that was put
Yep.
on there. And I was like, I'm just keeping the ball. I'm just going to remind me that that little bit of that slight curve, not like they were trying to be funny. Listen, they make it happen, make it work, make the ball work, make it work however you got to. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't take it any type of way. Dell and I laugh about it till this day. He's more laughing that I kept the ball. He's like, the ball's not going to do nothing. I was like, man, that was just my first time. River Oaks, Fort Dorchester, getting in with those guys. And the first thing they gave me was the shitty football. But I listen, it was, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it.
Probably Dell. Dell set you up on that one.
I think somebody set me up for real. I'm gonna get with Dale early. He probably knew all about that damn ball. Knew I was gonna get that ball, didn't he? Yeah, he knew I was gonna get that ball. Hey,
Oh yeah.
Brent, man, I want to say thank you first and foremost for coming on. I know this is your first time. Don't let it be your last, man. Whenever you feel the need, please do us a favor, man, and come on back. Any shout outs? Anything you want to say to anybody out there?
Yeah, definitely. I want to shout out all these youth coaches in the low country. You guys have changed the game on our level, on the varsity level. I get these kids, they already know how to play football. They already know they've been taught well, they've been taught the game, and that's what's changed for me. In my last 20 years, the past 5 or 6 years, I'm starting to get all these kids. I mean, the kids that have played with the Raiders, kids that play with Fort, kids that have played with the Straffords, the Somervilles, the Ashley Ridges, Woodland. I mean, it's just it's a thing that it wasn't always like this. And it's all these guys, they don't make any money coaching these youth football teams and they pour their life into it. And I feel like I get the reward for all the work they put in. And I just wanted to give all them guys a shout out. You guys know who you are. Y'all do a great job for these kids and getting them prepared to play on the varsity level for me. And I just appreciate y'all so much. It's people like y'all that make this world great and make this football in the low country something special. And it's not me; it's these youth coaches that do a great job and get these kids fired up about playing football. And that's all. That's my shout outs. That's who I wanted to go to. Is all the youth coaches in the Low Country. Them guys work their butts off. They do a great job.
There you go. Well, hey, listen, there it is, right? So youth coaches keep doing what you're supposed to do, right? If you're doing it the right way, look who reaps the reward, right? And still, even in this position, two-time champ, 3A, 7-game winning streak, takes the time out to say thank you. You can't get no better than that, man. Real classy guy. Ladies and gentlemen, your friend and mine, well, if not yours, argue with your mammy on that one because he's damn sure my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Brent LaPrad. Hey, appreciate you, man. I'm going to catch
Appreciate
up.
you, man. Thank you for having me, Coach.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate
See
you.
ya.
Oh, man. Listen, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Real class act to me. Again, I know everybody might not. You this, you that. You feel a certain way. It is what it is, and you're cool. You're cool to think that. Jimmy Smith. Hey, man. First, let me tell you. All right. So let me tell you about my weekend. Okay, real quick. It's over with. Apologies about the late MVP Skybox Bully. Myself and the student have been crazy all day Saturday. Double headers back to back. Not only, of course, do I coach, but I'm up there. We run the clock. We did some on the Skybox. We set them in the booth yesterday. Woodland takes on East Cooper. East Cooper comes to Woodland and puts the BTA. And I'll just listen, came out there better. Just a better team all around the whole entire day. Very disciplined team. Uh, well mannered team. Well coached team. They came out there and did their thing. And they win. They win the Miss Patty Award. Um, there's nothing you can really say. You guys heard me talk about East Cooper time and time and time and time and time and time again. What do I call them? My Cinderella team, right? And it looks like Cinderella may have spotted her glass slipper. Okay, I think they got the glass slipper within reach type stuff. All right. Matter of fact, it was a memory that showed up today on my timeline. Around now is when I did In the Trenches, and it was East Cooper. Right. A lot of coaches, some of the same coaches, some have left, but majority of the same coaches are there. Um, a lot of the kids have aged out, but some have came all the way from that 6 and 8U and now are in the 12U division, and they've grown. They've gotten development. They've gotten disciplined. They've gotten stronger. They've gotten football IQ, and they're figuring it out. And they're figuring it out. And they're playing together. And they're accountable. That's what it came down to. All right, across the board. 8U, 10U, 12U. All right. Then we had a chance to watch Big Cross, not the little one, go and do their thing. 12U, very impressive. Very impressive. I foresee Cross having 2 years of, you don't have to be dominant. Don't get me wrong. You got to put up some numbers. All right. Definitely got to have some wins up underneath you. Making it to the playoffs a couple of times. right? At least 2 out of the 3 make it to the playoffs a couple times, and before you know it, D1. Is that the goal though for some? Right? Is that the goal, is to go D1? Or is it sit there and say, you know what, I'm fine with being in D2. I'm gonna handle my business. I don't know, but they look very impressive yesterday. Um, the 12U, 10U, they have their stuff together. I think they have a mix of players. Um, they get that cadence down, they get that rhythm down. The young ones got to step up, um, and I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. They're starting to get it. The quarterback for the 12U is it's just impeccable. I've liked that kid since last year. So of course this year he came out, and I knew he was going to be impressive when I first saw him. And he did his thing. 8U, 8U, brand new coach, came into the season just right there, right before the first game, right before the jamboree, 2 days before the jamboree, came in there, had a lot of people buy into what he was bringing. Has came out there, and I talk to him often. So it's really impressive to see the transformation and see everything, you see everybody buy into what he brought over there to the program. You got some people that are just great coaches. You got some people that are just great people. And you got some people that just, hey man, they almost like the kids better than they like the parents, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? They almost like the parents better. I mean, like the kids better than the parents. Um, 8U will be all right. 8U will be all right because I think they got a lot of young players on there. More likely some sixes, some 7-year-olds, some that just turned 8 that might be able to stay next year. Some of them will have to go up to the 10U that might be able to help the 10U out, right? So that's why I say right now it's that mixed age group, and it's sometimes hard to hide those vulnerabilities, right? You got to spread these guys out. You got to put them in certain positions that just make sense. Sometimes you got to think outside the box too. You got to go outside the box to say, hey, this guy, he ain't the strongest, but he's going to try and always give hard, go 100%. I got to put him right here. At least he's going to make an effort. At least he's going to put, he's going to try. He might not be the biggest and the strongest, but dang, man, if he's an athlete, he's going to try. I got to put him there. Yeah, I got to put him there. There's no question about it. All right, learn how to hide. Learn how to hide your vulnerabilities. That's kind of what it comes down to, right? If you don't have any vulnerabilities, God bless you, man. You got one heck of a team, all right? I think even all the teams, somebody's got that one kid on there that's he's all right, but you're not gonna know who he is. You're not gonna know who he is because if he bought into the program and he bought into everything that's going on, you should know who that kid is because he should be giving 100%. All right. Don't forget also, ladies and gentlemen, send in those Skybox Bully MVP videos. All right. We're definitely looking forward to looking at those. And if you haven't had the chance, it is the 3rd annual Low Country Royale Amateur Cheerleading Competition, Stratford High School, November 16th. Get your team signed up today. 3rd annual. 3rd annual. You remember first year, Goose Creek. Next year, North Charleston Athletic Center. This year, we are at Stratford, where the reigning champs are hosting it. Come on, man. Come on, man. Nah, they're letting us use the gymnasium, and we can't wait. One heck of a time. Don't forget, Brielle's will be in the building. Brielle's Low Country Catering and Special Events will be in the building, along with 360 Media will be out there. All right, we'll have all the vendors waiting for you inside. I kind of like Stratford for this simply because of the foyer. Okay, simply because of the foyer. You can get control and all that, and the vendors will be nice and spread out. They will not be sitting right directly in your way, but they will be visible. Okay, so we can't wait for that to go down. November 16th is a Sunday. If you are looking to come from the Midlands or the Upstate, please let us know. The registration has been knocked down just a little bit, right? It's feasible. And just think, you come down, it's a travel, it's one day. You in and out like a car wash. Hopefully, when you go out, you walk away with the prize money. Now, I am actually thinking of, I know we have a certain number that we go with, but I'm thinking about upping the number for the prizes. I'm thinking about upping the number, but we'll see. We'll see. We get my weekly meeting tomorrow with Miss Gina from Plex Athletics, and we will definitely find out what the next move is. All right. Well, hey, listen, first and foremost, thank you to my guy, Brent LaPrad, for chiming in, catching up a little bit. I got to check in more often, man. That is actually a friend of mine, a real cool guy. Has been a huge supporter since day one. Always spoke up for me, spoke up with me, stood right behind me on everything I want to do. Ask him advice. He kicks it to me real. And that's the type of people that you need around you, right? So I owe him one to at least now I got his number. He's in trouble. Got his number. I'm going to text him from time to time and send him some good stuff like I normally do my other friends, right? Some little inspirational stuff from time to time, all that. All right. Well, thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. PhD U Sports' very own I Am the Skybox Bully. All right. We're almost to that season, to the end. So the playoffs, live streams, everything will be coming up soon. All right. Look forward to not next Friday. Next live, probably be next Sunday. Come back for another In the Lab with the Professor. Got some very special guests lined up. And we going to see like Stevie Wonder. Y'all know what it is, man. PhD. It's bigger than the game.